Hello YNABers, my name is Jesse Meekum from YNAB. It stands for You Need a Budget. You do. This is another Whiteboard Wednesday. Welcome. Today I want to talk about, one, a tiny financial principle that can have big ramifications, but two, just a little bit in the software because we're seeing that some people have missed this, and this is with the new YNAB where you can now undo and redo pretty much anything. Delete an account, undo it. Accidentally delete a whole swath of transactions, undo it. Override a budget value and you forgot what you had there before, just undo it. Did you accidentally undo something that you should have done? You can redo it. You just got to start being decisive. But you'll see little buttons in the budget and the register, both at kind of the top left area in your accounts or in the budget. This is the undo, like turning back the clock, and this is the redo, turning the clock forward. In Windows, if you want to be smart and snappy, you can just use Control-Z to undo, just like you would in a word processor or something like that. Control-Y to redo. On the Mac, it's Command-Z, undo, Command-Y to redo. So your hands don't have to leave the keyboard, and you can sit there and undo and redo to your heart's content. Now, this was a very, very oft requested feature for those coming from YNAB 3 or YNAB 4. Now moving to the new YNAB, you will love it. It's saved my bacon a few times. Speaking though in broader terms, because I don't like Whiteboard Wednesday to be much about the software, I want you to think more about what could this principle of, in software, of being able to undo your actions, what could that mean for you financially? And could you then consider that a pretty good operating principle in finances is to only proceed if you can undo things fairly easily? So you could just think back through all sorts of purchases, some obligations that you've incurred, and just think, could I undo this? If I do this business venture, could I undo this? If I buy this car, could I undo it? What's the cost of undoing this financial decision? If I choose this degree and I borrow this money to do it, can I undo that? What's the cost of undoing that? And I think that could start to guide us kind of in a broader, with a broader perspective, start to kind of guide us on being a little more careful, a little more cautious, a little more prudent, and just kind of saying, what would the harm be? What's the cost of the undo for my finances, not in the software, but in real life? Now, on the flip side, sometimes you can also say, hey, what's the big deal about spending this or that thing on this or that whatever? And can you undo that? If you buy, I hate using examples, if you buy those jeans, can you undo that? If you go on some vacation, can you undo that? What's the danger? You know, what's the big risk? And I think sometimes we treat the big decisions as if those are the ones that are easily undone. And these small decisions, the ones that really don't have a material impact, we treat those as if you can't ever undo them. And we kind of get it all flipped around. So the software has a great feature. You can undo, redo anything you want, and you can do it clear back quite a ways. I haven't tested it, but you can undo a ton. We just kind of keep storing that link of all these actions you've taken. You can undo a ton and go way back. So there's that in the software. But think about big financial decisions. And before you proceed, before you sign, before you commit, before you click, just think, what is the cost of undoing this big decision? And then with your small decisions, just know that the cost of undoing it's very small, and you probably shouldn't sweat it as much as you do. And one of us on this video has been guilty of that a lot. I'll see you guys next week.